Hi everyone, so today I have this super cute kit from Diane Press to share with you guys. It is the Spiderweb Shaker Kit. So this is something Diane Press brought to HSN for the August Craft Day, and if you're familiar with the shaker kits, it just, everything's here that you need. So let's open this up. So Diane Press did send these items free of charge for my review, and of course all opinions are my own. And any links I have in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. So we have some info here. Again, I used a little Spiderweb shaker. So basically the shaker this time around, the aperture and all that kind of stuff is like the little spiderweb, of course. Really cool like splatter stamps. So we have like spiderweb stamps, of course, saying, you know, that's optional if you want to stamp like your background. You're going to add your little foam, add your confetti that is cut from one of the dies here too. Get your little clear acetate sheet, which cuts really well in the marquee, especially when you use that metal plate, and that comes in the kit too. And then you die cut your web and you pop that on top there, so you put those together obviously, so that stuff doesn't come out from behind the web there. And then just some little inspo here. And I'm just trying to see what's going on here. Okay, it's just a little extra info. So they're showing you some inspo, but again, they're showing you have the stamps and the dies to cut the little ghost. Cute little dies for spiders, the bats, and then the stamps that go along with that have some spooky fun, spooky greetings, you've been booed, boo to you, and all these fun things. So let's look at this. It comes with the foam. It looks like 12 pieces, I think. Maybe 4... like 3.5-inch square foams, and then it comes with acetate. Of course, you can, whenever that runs out, you have acetate, you can use that. Stamp carrier, all kinds of different things we can recycle for this, or upcycle. And then we have the thin metal sheets, and usually, can't tell if yeah, there's 2 of them in there. They're thin, so they go through the marquee, so they got to be pretty thin along with the die, you know, to go through there. We have our stamps. Again, the marquee cutting folder. If you don't have a marquee, you can use this in any machine that cuts thin metal dies. And let me see if there's a back side. Well, let me open this up. That way I can use the back for to help us see our stamps a little better. Just so cute, you guys. I mean, I love how it has little stitching, all the little detail on the spiderweb. And this is to cut your foam. This one right here cuts your acetate, and then of course the little characters or little decorations. But look at this piece. Oh my gosh, it cuts spider confetti. I mean, put that inside the card so when somebody opens that, or in a goodie bag, you have all these little bits that are little spiders. So cute. So we have that, and then it cuts the little circles too. Just, you know, more confetti type stuff. And then here we have, again, the splatters, the sentiments, the little ghosty, and here are just those stamps that we saw at the beginning, as far as if you want to do a background or just have them for any project. And pretty good size on those too. Okay, so I don't know that this matters, but I will measure this just so you know about the size of the this little guy. It's like 3¼ inches, probably circular, you know, but obviously it's divoted out here and there. And so you have that info. What I'm going to do is grab some papers, the card base, and we will get started. Okay guys, so I grabbed some papers. I was thinking about making like a fun, like a different size card, but I really also want to do an A2 size card because I want to use, I think that'll be fun to use this little brick pattern from the textured backgrounds and then build up a little scene in the background. I don't think I'll be using the stamps today, but I will cut this down to, I don't know, 4, I'm like, I don't know what I always do, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, so I'm going to cut this piece of paper down real quick, and along with that, I also want to cut out one of these guys in this black paper here, and I'm just going to run that through, okay? So this is just for the background, I'm not using it right now for the shaker part, but I'm going to run that through, and then I'm going to cut this down, and I'll be right back. So we have, oh, look at that, our little brick pattern, and I know it's a little harder to see because the paper's just orange, but I'm going to rub probably some black ink on that just to make it pop because it's a Halloween card, so we can make it look a little wild. And then I have this little guy. Oh my gosh. So I'm probably going to tuck this in the background. So I'm just going to cut a piece here and cut a piece for there. You know, we can use the same one, or I might have to run it through again, get another piece, but I think I'm just going to cut this one down. So let me put these pieces away right quick and grab some black ink, and I'll be right back. So, oh, there it is. It's like, where's my black ink dauber? And I'm just going to make it a little bit messy going over the top of this texture. So some black ink, and just starting off the edge, just picking some of that up. Looks a little bit grungy. I'm doing this very lightly because I don't want to get, you know, into the bottom of the brick. I want it right over the top of the brick. So I'm just going to take my moment and go around this whole thing and get some of that texture showing up. And the very edges, I'm just kind of darkening that a little bit. Why not? Yeah, just real simply just going over, getting that texture to kind of come out. And all we're going to do with that is glue that down. So I was going to go ahead and glue that down, but you know what? Like I said, I want this to be kind of fun and coming out from here or wherever. Maybe our shaker's in here, right? So I'm just trying to see what I want to do. I think I'm going to cut this right down in the center. And then we can play with that however. So I'm just going to cut that there. And then you can come off the side, you know, piece come off the top. It doesn't have to be that perfect. I mean, if you want to make it do like however you want, but just cut off that excess, right? But since we're here, I might as well just keep the whole thing. Alright, let's see here. So I'm just going to glue these guys down. I really get the glue on there, especially if you're going to cut some of it off. You want to make sure that every piece has glue. I'm not going to cut anything off, so I'm just going to leave it here. Kind of like that. And I'll do the same thing for this one. And now I'll go ahead and glue this down. Still need to hold down those topper pieces, but I figure if I'm going to hold it down, might as well do it all at once. So there's that. And I'll just center that and hold it down, and I'll be right back. Okay. So with our background done, again, we could have just done some inking, you know, same thing, just a plain paper. Oh, you know what, the other thing you can cut with this, other than your acetate, is like the base of it. So just depending on how you want to create your shaker, if you're putting it around the card and you don't mind that the background of the card is showing, which, you know, let's do that today, because a lot of times I do put a backer to it, but you know what, we don't have to. So let's do it like this today. And so I just have a few things to cut out. So let's put this over here. I do have, for my spiderweb, I have this shiny kind of pearlescent white paper. I thought that'd be nice, just an added little touch. It's probably hard to tell it's pearlescent, but it is. So let's cut that one. And then from this one, we cut our foam. Okay. And they have, you know, in orders, obviously stamping and doing this other stuff is number 1. And then number 2 is die cutting the foam, and then die cutting the confetti. But basically you're going to take this, and a lot of times I try to conserve as much space. Like you can put it right in the center. If you put it right in the center, then you can also do like a reverse shaker, where you would have a piece of paper out here, and then this area is open, you know what I'm saying? This area is raised, and you can use it whatever you want to do. I usually just put it to wherever I can to preserve as much of the foam that I can. So it's not the biggest deal on this one. We're going to run this through. We'll run it through together just so you can see that, don't fear, it'll be just fine. And this guy, again, you can cut a base for your shaker. You can make a shaker tag because you have the base for it, plus your toppers and everything, you're ready to go. We'll cut that with this here. So the way they do it in their steps is is foam, then confetti, you know, put those together, and then add your toppers. I usually do mine a little bit different, but we'll see how it goes today. I'm just going to cut these, have them ready. The foam is the one that has carriers on it, so you want to leave the carriers on until you're actually going to be needing it. I love these things. I should probably bring out one right here that I've been using, because you can use them over and over and over, and it doesn't matter if it looks like this, it'll just keep cutting and it's fine. Look how many times I've cut on this. You can't even see how many times. And it continues working. It's not a problem. But since I'm using this one today, I'll use like an older folder just so you can see. We can use folder that's already been used here. Okay, so let's cut these pieces together since we're moving right along. It's just going to be, I run it through slowly just so that my camera doesn't shake too badly, so I'm going to do it very slowly. And generally I do this part last because that way I don't have to deal with these little pieces sitting here, but that's okay. So I have that. Do you guys do that whenever you have something that has smaller pieces or like an inlay? I always do that last, so that way I don't have all these little bits while I'm working. So we have that. This guy, we put die obviously facing down, the cut side that's facing to the acetate on top of this little metal guy, and it will warp or, you know, get pushed into. You hear that? That's a good sound. Good thing to hear. And you can just keep reusing it over and over and over. You can cut on both sides of the metal, shim, whatever is, you know, you need to do. So we have this little guy. I guess that could make like what's the thing? Like a stencil. Anyway, we have that. We need that. We need that. And then put this away for use over and over and over, like I showed you there. I'm gonna go ahead and cut my foam. Again, I'm not trying to be too shisty, but there. Put it like right up here. We're gonna put this in here. And I'm going to slowly go through that. Of course, cutting side facing down into your foam. And now you have all this foam you can use. You can reuse this, cut this up, again, however you want to use that. And this guy, it's right here. Oh, oh, oh. Let's get this out. Oh, he's kind of sticking to, I don't like the carrier to come off until I need it, so I'm gonna put that to the side here, very carefully. And let me clean up just a bit, so what we're gonna do also is cut our confetti. Let me get some paper for that, but I'll be right back. Too boring, but I guess I'm just gonna go with black because it's just gonna pop in there. Silver, that'd be really fun. Whatever color you like for these parts. And I'm just gonna run that through, and I think a handful of this is good. You can mix it with your own glitter or other things, or cut a ton of this stuff or in different colors, you know, for the same project. What I do is I'll run this through. And I usually just put it like on, this paper's kind of thin, I guess I can put it on here. And then I use that to help me funnel it into my project. So everything that comes off of here, it's double-sided black paper, so it doesn't matter to me. If you have bigger pieces, like your little spiders, and you want them to be a certain way, because like let's say you used a paper that's silver on top but it's white on the back or whatever, I just place them in there the way I want them to be, you know? Like these are really kind of in there, so it's very easy to do that with. I just place them face up. They're not going to turn over, you know, when they're in here. So I'm going to go ahead and pop these guys out, and I'll be right back. So I have everything ready. Again, they generally say put your foam down, pop what you want in there, and then put your acetate together and pop that on top. I'm doing a little bit different, and also this guy's a little bit delicate, and I kind of got it a little bit wonky when I took him out, so we're going to glue this together first, which is generally what I do whenever I do a shaker. You know, I'm going to use this glue here. I ran out of my Nuvo Deluxe. Well, not really ran out. I have other ones. I just can't locate them at the moment, so I'm going to use this one. This is art glitter, because I know it'll stick the plastic and paper together, no problem. And, you know, obviously this is just a shaker. You don't want to put too much glue. It's going to squeeze out, and you have to contend with that. So what I do is just like that, and maybe I'll pat some of it off just so it's not all over the place. You can see some already sticking out right there. And I'm just placing it right over my little acetate piece. I'm going to hold that down for a minute and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I turned this little guy over just so I can massage it from the back, but also I'm going to place my foam down anyway, so I'm going to take it off of here. So again, it came off the carrier, it came off the other carrier, so I'm just trying to see which is better, which way is to hold this. And you know what, I'm just going to take this off. Maybe not. Okay, what I'm going to do is eyeball this and put it where it needs to be. So I'm seeing that there, I'm putting that there, putting this one here, and I'm not sticking it down yet until I think it's where I want it to be. So I'm kind of holding it up in my other hand. There. Right here. There. There. And there. Now I'll give it a squish. And that's just because my carriers came off. You know, if you're a little more careful, your carrier will probably stay on until you want it to come off. Okay. So I just helped push down. And if there are any gaps, like right here, there's a little gap. I'm going to push these guys together. Nothing comes out of there. And then just make sure this guy is out of sight. I usually just use the back of my nail to push, but since I just laid this down, I know I can manipulate that pretty well. Okay. And then a quick peek from the front to make sure it's not showing. There we go. Alright, I'm going to put this to the side for just a moment. And then I'm going to take all these guys. And this is a lot, to be honest. I probably would do a little bit fewer of these. Look how cute. You know what? I'm going to take a few of these little guys out. Do the smaller bits. And just scatter them around, because if they're piled up on top of each other, they're going to stay that way. So I'm just scattering them just because they are larger pieces of shaker bits here. Make sure they're not all tangled together. I'm going to take a few out. It's probably enough to make 2 for me. And you know what? Let's add a little glitter. Why not? So let's put a little something in there too. Ooh, that's not a little much. Okay, there we go. I might take a few of those off because, to be honest, you know me, I always like putting less in my shakers, and now I have enough for another shaker over here. The pieces that I brought out. Let me just take a few of these out. These other guys I can get rid of later. Okay. And again, I kind of lay him flat and bring this guy over. Oh, not that guy, this guy. And where do I want that? Right in the center, maybe around there. It's so cute. Okay. Very good. I just give it a push and then I flip it over just to give it a nice push from the back. And there's our little shaker with the little spiders in there and everything. Really nice. So I probably left maybe 8 spiders in there. And then the other ones are over here. All right, let me think about how I want to finish to top this off. We have the little ghosties, we have the bats, we have some more spiders, all that, but I'll be right back. Oh, we had some bats, but we do a fun color. So this purple paper. Use that little guy. And this one. So I'll cut both these guys out. And I'll be right back. Okay. And I'll do these guys like I do my butterflies, where I like to kind of leave them up a little bit. Let's see. Let's put that guy there. And since we have some dimension anyway, I'll put a little glue on this one. Put him back here somewhere. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and stamp on this. I know it has texture and all that, but I think it'll be fun. So I'm going to take this, and you know, if I was going to do that initially, I would have put it with a stamp press, just so if I need to do it again. But I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to grab some VersaFine because I know it's really sticky and really thick. And I'm going to have some spooky fun. I guess right down here. Let me do that again since I took a moment to think about it. And I am completely eyeballing that. And I'm really going to make sure that it's pushing down in every little area. Make sure we have our lettering. Look at that. Alright guys, thanks for watching. You know, a quick little project. I added, you know, some texture and things like that, but if you want to do the stamping or just have paper that's already designed for you, of course, that's always good. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Thanks so much, Die Press, for sending these items for review. I'll have the images coming up. I'll have the links in the description box, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye now.